right, let's get started. Welcome to the first postpartum workout. Today we will be doing a 5-minute warm-up, 5 minutes of ab awareness, 3 sets of exercises, 5 minutes each, and we're going to repeat each one twice. The third one will be optional, and then we're going to do a 5-minute cool down. So let's get started. First, we're going to just walk in place. Get ready, just stand the way you would normally stand, and walk. Just notice what your stomach is doing. Notice what your posture is. We're not fixing anything. Just walk. If this feels like it's too much for you, you're just getting started, you're worried about working out, you might just be walking like this. You might be walking like this. Or we just might be walking normally this whole time. All right, 30 more seconds. We're going to walk for a minute, and then we're going to walk with high knees. So you're just walking normally, except depending on your starting point, you might just be shifting weight like knee to knee, not even lifting your feet off the ground fully. Wherever you are, it's perfectly fine. We're going to get you to the point of just walking normally. This is where you want to get to. So if you've been doing this the whole time, that's awesome. If you feel after we do this workout, you're back to just lifting your heels, then that's where you're starting. All right, now 90-degree angles, right? Again, exactly the way you are. You might just be doing this now. That's totally fine. You might be doing this. You might be holding the wall. That's okay too. Or you might be marching. Whichever you are. All right, I'm just gonna go like this a little bit. I'm healing my own diastasis recti right now, and I have not worked out in a long time. So as the videos will be progressing, I'll be improving my body right along with you. We're doing this together. All right, next up is jumping jacks. If you're wondering what the heck a jumping jack is doing, as the third exercise in a postpartum video, let me show you what the modifications are. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, I don't want you to do this if you're not there, if you have not done the series without modifying already. Where we start, it'll be your jumping jack. This might be what your jumping jack looks like. That's what mine looked like when I started. Then you're gonna progress, and you're going to keep progressing. Then you're going to add a little hop and a little speed, and eventually you're going to get here. Right now, you might just be doing this. That's fine. Just keep moving, keep engaging. So you're not really focusing too much about what your stomach's doing. You're just letting it do its thing. We're going to focus on aligning those muscles next. Just remember, keep breathing. Have some water ready if you need it. I'm also incorporating normal exercises in this that you'd find in most workout routines so that you know how to modify them when you come across them. All right, now toe taps. A little more than hip width apart. Touch those toes. You might not be there at all. I was definitely not here soon after baby. Where was I? I was more like here with the intention of reaching my toes someday. You might be able to progress a little bit more. Maybe you're not bending fully yet. Maybe you're just waiting for me to get on with the exercise. You're not locking your knees here, right? You don't want them stiff back like this. You don't want them like that. You just want a soft bend. Right, now, this one's a little bit different. What we're doing here, this is going to get us into our ab engagement. You'll just be curling in and out. Should be able to do this. Obviously, the modification is just lower range of motion if you're catching on. So you're just tilting your pelvis in a little bit. Just doing like the tiniest crunch. This might be it. This might be it for you. You might just be letting into that slumping that you'd want to be doing all day long, if that feels good for you. Don't worry about your posture. We're on to that next. Right now, you're just moving your body for 20 more seconds. Just curling in and out. Don't worry about your stomach's doing. Addressing that in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, up, counting too slow, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now take a deep breath, let everything drop. And what we're doing now is roll your shoulders back, right? And this is where the tilting goes in. You want to punch, like if someone's punching you in the gut, right? So your pelvis is out, punch in, punch in, punch in. You don't have to do the punch thing. You can just roll your shoulders and just, what this is doing is just by bringing your pelvis in, you're already engaging. So the punching in your stomach might have been a good visual for some. For others, you might feel like your hips are just so out of whack that just by moving them forward, everything tightens over here. That is ab engagement. This is proper form. This is what you want to look like when you're doing exercises in a straight line right over here. We're just bringing it in for another 2 seconds. And now we're going to hold it. So what is this? What is this holding doing for you? Chances are, if you're healing your diastasis recti, this is not your normal position. Your stomach is not normally engaged like this. So you might have been holding your breath for the last exercises or catching your breath in between tilts. You might notice that right here, your knees are getting a little stiff. So you want to maybe just move a little bit. You're not moving yet. What you're trying to do here is not hold your breath for a minute. I made this a minute specifically because not many of us can hold our breath that long. So you're forced to breathe and you're still holding it, still holding. If you need a break, which I needed several breaks, like every 10 seconds when I started, deep breath into your lungs and just drop everything. Just drop it. It's much easier to engage if you're starting from that point of that, because then you know it's not engaged. When you breathe again, on your out breath, suck it all in. There's a difference, right? We're not sucking in like that. We're poking your ribs out. We're sucking in by going inside like this, pulling your stomach into you. Okay? Now we're holding that and we're going to start walking. So similar to what we did when we first started, only now notice how different it feels. It might feel like, you're walking after you, held your pee in for 20 hours and you're about to go on yourself and you're just like really gingerly walking around. Or it might feel totally normal, which is great. That means that your diastasis is healing and this is on your normal walking pose already, that you're walking in proper alignment. So just like before, you might just be lifting your heels, or with this new engagement, you might be just like really slowly, cautiously walking. And I suggest for many of these exercises to keep a hand on your stomach so you can feel that engagement, so you can feel your stomach working. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Hold the engagement, and now we're going to start moving your arms up and down for a minute. So this will also help you work out to those jumping jacks, but also now you're stretching up the upper part of your muscles that goes from here upwards. Meanwhile, your legs was from here downwards, whereas mostly the lower region. And this might be very difficult for you. You might feel like you can't hold it anymore even once you reach up to here. That's fine. Maybe you can hold. This could be it. Do a few more of these. Do a few more of these. Keep holding, not your breath, just your abs. Yeah, 15 more seconds. If you want to do this also slow and controlled, we are not doing jumping jacks right now. What we're doing right now is getting that range of motion and feeling that stretch. You're feeling this band of muscles right here move. Last 2. Now get some sort of long objects. You can pause the video if you have to. I have a rolled up yoga mat here. Use a baseball bat, use a hamper, whatever you have that's a little bit above knee high. This is really to help with your alignment and limit your range of motion so you can get that right alignment. What we're going to do with it is we're going to go side, forward, side, so that gives us a little twist to the abs. So breathe out, breathe in, push it out through your teeth, make sure it's engaged. I'm gonna have a little twist. So how far you twist, you're just placing this down like in the middle of your foot. Even this might be too much for you, depending where you're starting out. Maybe you're just standing here hip width apart, just holding this thing and going like that, you know, not even touching the ground. That's okay, you can start here. The goal is to work you up to this. If you feel fine with just going forward and back, then maybe this is what you're doing. You're not even adding the bend. You're just slowly getting this muscle to stretch while holding it in. Okay? Touch. So we're touching because we're also not flopping all the way. Like I said, this is a very controlled movement. Okay, we're done. Just set that aside. Now we're going, if you use the yoga mat, you can use your mat. Now what we're going to be doing is a bridge hold. So this is mostly a pelvic floor workout that we're going to be doing right now. You're going to lay down. I'm going to show you the modifications again. We're going to do 4 exercises, 1 minute each. So lay back. You want your back flat on the floor, right? There's no gaps over here. No gaps. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And hold. And even if you want to push out your stomach, you might notice that you really can't. You have some kind of engagement just by the fact that you lifted your butt up off the floor. So even if this feels like it's a lot, you know, do tiny little things like that. The further out you have your legs, the harder it is. This is really hard. This is really easy. Go as far as you need to, but this really engages a lot of the pelvic floor muscles. And just by doing this motion, you don't really need to consciously engage your abs. They are engaged just by you doing this exercise. The pelvic tilt is really awesome for that. I'm going to do 20 more seconds of this one. 10, 5, 2, 1. Right now, no breaks. You're gonna get these workouts done, right? So this, of course, you're doing the longest muscle stretch right here, heel slides. This is where you want to work your way up to. Maybe all you're doing is, again, when you're back flat on the floor, maybe all you're doing is you're just stepping it out by like 2 centimeters, just like that. Maybe you're going a little bit further. We're gonna do this for 15 more seconds. 10, 2, 1. All right, now mini crunches. Jackknife movements are the main thing you want to avoid if you have any kind of ab separation. What we are doing here though is we are re-engaging the muscles so they can contract in that jackknife movement without popping out, right? So how are we going to do that? Hand on your stomach. Notice that if you start going up, let me show you here with me, and everything starts popping up, right? Notice that when I went up this time, it engaged and it just like, my stomach went up. You do not want that. You don't want this dome. That means your abs are trying to poke out. What you want to do is get that engagement, push your belly button into the ground, and when you go up, it stays down. So we're going to be doing this with the hand on your stomach, and you're only going to go up as high as you can without lifting off. So I don't know if you can even see with my bun here, out of the way. I am like less than an inch off the floor. This is it. It's just the tiniest crunch. Or it might just be engaging your abs enough that you have the pressure off of your neck and off of your head, but you're still in contact with the floor. That is all perfectly okay. We'll do one more of these. Now we're going to add a little twist to it. So hold that there. Now we are not doing anything like this. We're not doing a sit-up. We're not doing a crunch. What we are doing is, right now your shoulders should be flat on there. Your hands here. And all you're doing is you're engaging the whole side of your body right here. Just twist up a little bit. You see I'm just lifting my shoulders up off the ground. That's it. Same thing. You don't want to lift your stomach up off the floor. We want to engage. And depending on where your diastasis recti is, you might even be able to feel it in that gap of the muscles tightening up. Make sure your neck doesn't hurt. So you might want to keep a hand on your neck right here. You're not pulling your neck up, you're just holding your neck. Kind of like as a reminder that it does not need to leave the ground. It is just your shoulder that you're lifting. And last one. Okay, take a 30-second break. Now, depending where you are, this next set of exercises, you might want to avoid. You might want to just take this as your rest period. Or we can continue on. So we're going to get into lunges, followed by a squat twist, and followed by a crunch, followed by diagonal lunges. All right, so tighten up, right? Lunges, depending where you're starting, this might be your lunge. Pushing in a little bit, and you're just going front. Or you just might do one leg, one side. Or you might do all of them, but you're alternating like that. So the more variety you have, the harder it is. Or we're going to start in 4 seconds. I'll be doing the full version first. So 1, 2. So we're switching sides here. We're switching directions. And this is the hardest version. This is where you're working your way up to. All right, we're switching legs. Every time it's a different leg, it's a different direction. We're mixing it up. This might be you. I'm gonna do 2 here. Maybe this is where you're starting off at. 2 here. Remember, keep that engagement. Whenever you lose it, stop, take a deep breath, and then let it out by sucking it in. This might be it. This might be your lunges right here. Or doing them, right? Doing those lunges. Showing you all the exercises so you can modify any workout routine that you go for. And you know exactly what to do. You're not stuck with just my videos. Right. Now, like I said, this is the one that you might be sitting out. We're going to really up it up a bit. For some of you, just having your abs engaged and having your legs this far apart, which is more than hip distance apart, right? That might be enough for you. Just keeping that engagement so you're not, you're able to keep it. You're not being yourself, right? So hold it. We're gonna squat down. This might be too much for you even, this squat right here. So maybe all you're doing is you're standing like this. Maybe you're up to doing little pulses like that. If you're with me, if you're going all the way, this, and little twists. Re-engage every so often. While you're here, see if you can also clench your butt muscles. Pretend you're stopping a flow of pee. Clench all those muscles. Make sure your stomach is still engaged. If it's not, stop twisting. Stand up. If you still can't do it, stay here. Keep the engagement. Or if you're still going, we got 20 more seconds. See if you can go lower. It's not about how low you can go, it's how long can you continue holding your stomach. You might be here, finishing it off with us. You might keep going with the twist. We got 4 more seconds. Stand there with the engagement. This might also be your rest time if you need it. 2, 1. All right, now we're gonna do side crunch. So, working our way up to that. All right, where your arm is up and you're crunching. I don't know where my stomach was. I was not paying attention just now. Make sure you do. Tighten it in. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is your start. Maybe your start is just standing like this. Here, let me get my timer on. Maybe this is it for you. Maybe this is it for you. Keep your stomach there so you feel that engagement. Keep going. 15 more seconds. 2. 5 more. Maybe you're here now. As long as you can keep that engagement. Sit. Switch sides. Make sure you're holding it in. Alright, you might be here. Maybe you're just here and you're standing and you're holding it. I want you to just keep that engagement while you have it. Maybe you're here. Whatever it is, keep going. We got one more exercise after this and this set is done. Hold it, maybe. 2, 1. All right, we're doing this with no breaks in between. We're just going, right? We're exercising straight through. Tighten. Diagonal lunges. Depending how you do with the other lunges, you might just be doing like this, just on a diagonal. Again, it's a bigger range of motion. It's not straight forward and back. It's not out and back to the side, it's diagonal. Maybe you're here. Maybe you're here. So right now I'm standing at the center of my yoga mat, and maybe like I can go down here, but if I can't get myself back up on my core strength, you don't want to go too far. You don't want to come back here and be like, oh my God, I can't get up now because of my stomach. So, go only as far as you can. Two more. 1, 2. Right, that's it. Now, you can either fast, if you sat out this one's exercise for you right now. This will be your last one. If not, if you did the other 2 and you're done, this could be your bonus round. We're just gonna do 5 more minutes of exercises, 1 more round. This one, it's upping it up a little bit more, again. So, squatting. Again, this might be it. You might be exercising right here, right now. Otherwise, if you're with me, you're gonna get down and you're going to lift your weight. So, what I'm noticing here for myself is, first of all, when you go down, are you letting everything loose the moment you slouch over? Or are you holding the engagement and leaning front and back? It might be that you just got up to the squat. So you're standing here, maybe you're just doing this. So long as you keep that engagement. Or maybe you can, if having some kind of object to pick up makes it easier for you, do that. Otherwise, maybe this is it. Maybe this is your squat with a lift. Okay. Now, you want to hold the weight out in front of you. And you're marching. This is where we're getting up to. It's too much for you. No weight. You just want your arms out in front of you. If this is too much for you, make sure your abs are engaged. This is too much for you. And maybe every once in a while you would put an arm out or 2 arms. You're just building up that strength. 10 more seconds. Alright, now we're going to keep marching. Keep that engagement. Gonna up it up a little bit. You can have weights in your arms if you feel up to it. You can have a resistance band that you're pulling at over here. Or you might need to take a breath. Get up your engagement again. And you're just doing this. You're just working up your upper body because you can't keep it anymore with marching. Or maybe you're just even getting tired. But you still want to get your workout in for your upper body. You don't want to push yourself too much, especially if this is the first time you're working out after pregnancy, or if you're due soon and you haven't had a very active pregnancy to begin with. Or you might be here. Or you're still going for 10 more seconds. After this, we got one more exercise and we're cooling down. All right, now, hip distance apart. Let go. Tighten in. If you have a resistance band, you're doing this with a resistance band. If you have a weight, you can do this with your weight. If you are just starting out, you might just be over here. This might be your last exercise. It's controlled. I'm not just flapping my arm, right? It's not just momentum, but it's just a very small movement. Or here, one at a time. Again, that alternating changes up which muscles are activated. It activates your core more than if you just finish the right side and then continued on to the left. So I'm just doing 2 on each side. Again, to make this harder for yourself, you can use a weight, you can use a resistance band. You would step on it on one side and hold it up in your other hand. Or you might just be here, followed by over here. All right, that was it. Thank you so much for joining. Now let's cool down. So, shake it all out. Don't worry about holding your stomach in. You might notice that it's already tighter than it was at the beginning of this workout. Shake it out, shake it out. And now you're walking slow. And just be conscious of what changed. Maybe you notice that your shoulders are still slumped forward from tiredness. Switch them back. But you notice that your stomach is tighter. Even if your pelvis maybe could use a little more tweaking, you should notice that right now everything feels tighter and more together than it did at the beginning of the exercising. It is my goal to have you feel like this all the time. All right? Now, shoulder distance apart. Wave our hands back and forth. Arms over your head. Don't worry about holding in your stomach engagement now. Now we're loosening everything back up. Let it drop. I promise you it's not going to drop as much as it did before. All right, just let everything out. Forward. You can hold on to the wall if you need to. Stretch out your quad for a few seconds. We're going to do 5 seconds on each side. You can do more. Take a deep breath. Let it go out. We're not doing as wide squats. Or you can just do that. Little bonus for moms especially, the neck stretch. This was a game changer for me when I knew that you can put your hands on your neck and it really alters the stretch. So it's very different going like this, putting maybe your arm out, like your hand down a little bit. And it's very different from putting your hand here and feeling that stretch. You can really pinpoint the muscles that you need stretched in your neck by depending where you put your fingers. So right here, I'm feeling the stretch here. If it's more towards the back of my neck, I put my fingers here. And it changes so much. You can even put them here. Roll your neck a little bit. Or if you slept bad or you're nursing your baby constantly like that, this muscle might feel really tight in your neck. So you can put your fingers right here, move your neck a little bit. Okay, hope you enjoy this. If you are looking to do a little more than a half-hour workout, feel free to go back at, I think, the 5-minute mark and just get started to doing all the exercises straight through again. It wouldn't hurt you, but we just did a full series right now of all different ab workouts in half an hour. So enjoy and stay tuned for the next batch.